Okay. Good morning, students. Good morning, students. This is the third chapter. Sorry. This. Good morning, students. This is the part 3 of your societal impact chapter. We will start from the different terms of OSS software. So this is the OSI. OSI is the open source initiative. It is an organization which is basically dedicated to the promotion or source software. Basically, this organization help us for developing the software which comes under the open source. So open source does not means to access to the source code. The distribution terms of source software must comply with the open source definition by OSI. So basically it's an organization which sets some rules and regulation for developing the open source software, and open source software must satisfy all the conditions of this organization. Then the particular software will be the registered under it. Then we have freeware. We have earlier discussed about the free software. Now we will discuss about freeware. Freeware is generally used for the software which is available free of cost, which allows copying and further distribution. But actually, in case of freeware, we cannot modify. The source code is also not available in case of freeware. Freeware should not be mistaken for open software or free software. So free software is different thing, because in free software we can modify the source code also, but in case of freeware we cannot modify. Freeware is easy to run, easy to send without any license fees. But we if you want to do any kind of source code modification for this, we have to go for the free software, because in freeware we cannot modify the source code. The example is here Microsoft Internet Explorer is also a freeware example. Okay, Internet Explorer is a browser basically. Now we have next term, W3C, World Wide Web Costume. It is for the website basically. It is realize the full potential on the web. It is an industry costume that seeks to promote the standard for the evaluation of the web interoperability between the www. We can operate your www website on different platform, as you know very well. So basically all the websites are registered under www costume. We have then proprietary software, the software which is either open or freely available. Its use regulated, and further distribution and modification is either forbidden or require special permission by the supplier or vendor. Source code of the proprietary software normally not available. We have to purchase the software by paying the amount that is comes under the proprietary software. We have different example like MS Office is here proprietary software. Then we have shareware. Shareware is a software which is made available with the right to redistribute the copies, and it intend to use the software just for the trial period. Actually what we are doing, a license fee should be paid after the trial period. Shareware is not the same as free and open source. The source code is not available. Secondly, modification also you cannot do. So basically the software which comes, like you are buying it, but if you are not buying it and you are downloading it for the trial version, so that comes under the shareware. But after the expiring the trial period you have to install it. Then we have copylefted software. Copylefted software is a free software whose distribution terms ensure that all the copies of the version carry more or less the same distribution term. This means, for instance, the copyleft license generally disallow other to add additional requirement to the software and require making source code available. Copylefted software is also a free software, and basically all the copies of versions carry more or less the same distribution term. This means that it's generally disallow other to add the additional requirement to the software. and only making source will be available here, and it disallow to add the additional requirement to the software, that is called copylefted software. Now we will furthermore discuss about copyright and other license. License are the permission given to use a product or someone creation by the copyright holder. Basically, license is a permission so that we can use any software. So, and what is the copyright? Copyright is a legal term to describe the right of the creator of an original creative work, such as literacy work, an artistic work, a design, song, movie, or software. And copyright is a patent work which is the original work of the creator, and it is registered. So now the copyright of that task is to the author, so other can't misuse it. Okay, so it may be a design, a movie, or software. So these are such kind of symbol of copyright. First is the symbol of copyright, and second is the symbol of copy left. कॉपीराइट में सी फ्रंट में है, लेफ्ट में सी, ऐसे होगा. लाइसेंस एंड डोमेन ऑफ ओपन सोर्स टेक्नोलॉजी. As per open source initiative, open source license are the license that comply with the open source definition. They allow to use freely, modified, or you can easily share it. So we have first of all the first license of OSS is GNU, Journal Public License. GNU General Public License is probably one of the commonly used for the open source project. GPL grants and guarantees a wide range of rights of developer who work on open source project. Basically, it allows the user to legally copy, distribute, and modify the software. So GPL license help you so that you can modify, redistribute the. So it's a legal right if you are working with a GPL license. This means with GPL a user can copy the software. You can, whatever the software come under the GPL, you can easily copy the software, distribute the software however you want, charge a fees to distribute the software. Definitely it's a open source, so uh, you have to give the charge to distribute the software. Make whatever modification to the software you want. You are free to make any kind of modification in case of GPL license. Next is your GNU, Journal Public License. This is the another GNU license, the lesser journal public license. It offers a lesser right to work than standard GPL license. If we will compare it with the journal public license, so here are is having the less rights. So what are the rights? The license of free software so that it can be interoperated with the both freeware and proprietary software. The GPL and LPL license different with the one major exception. With LGPL, the requirement that you have to release software extension in open GPL it has been removed. If you have if you have lesser general public license, so if you're releasing, so software extension is open, means anyone can use the software extension for their work. Whatever work you are doing, it will be taken by others and they can use it by their names. This is the exceptional in GPL, lesser general public license, LGPL. Next we have BSD license. BSD license represent a family of permissive free software license having a fewer restriction on distribution compared to other free software license such as GNU, Journal Public License. There are two important version of BSD. So we in it's a family of permissive, जो permissible होंगे आपके free software license के अंडर आएंगे. The first is your new bare license modified BSD license. Three clause license allows unlimited redistribution for any purchase as long as it's copyrighted notice. The license disclaimer of warranties are maintained. The license also contain a clause restricting use of the name of the contributor whose endorsement of a derived work without specified permission. Under this, you have no need to take the permission of the owner. You can you can reuse the work in case of the BSD license because it works for the free software. Then we have MIT license. MIT license is the shortest and probably broadest of all the popular open source software license because its items are very loose, more permissible than others license. You can easily use this, copy it, modify the software. No one will prevent you for the project. You can give the software away free or sell it. You have no restriction how to distribute it. The only restriction is here this the license agreement. It basically says anyone can do whatever they want with the license material as long as compliant with the license. Apache license. The Apache license grant a permission right to the user. The right can be applied both copyright and patent. The Apache license offers what right are perpetual, rights are worldwide, rights are granted for no fees or royalty, rights are non-exclusive, rights are inviolable. So first point is here, once granted you can continue to use them forever. You can use throughout the lifetime. And the second one, it is granted in one country, they can granted in other countries also. Third is there is no fees for there is no fees to grant the right or royalty. You are not sole license, other can also use the license work. Rights are non-exclusive means it may be possible anyone can use it. Inviolable means the no one take these rights any once they are granted. No one can take these rights away once they are granted. Yeah, if you are granted, so no one can't take your rights. Means you can also use and other can also use in such case. Apache license. Then we have public domain software vs proprietary software. Public domain is a free and it can be used without any restriction. The term public domain software is used incorrectly to include the freeware. Free software that is nevertheless copyrighted. Public domain software is by nature outside the scope of copyrighted and licensing. So proprietary software means you have to give the money for it, but in case of public domain you will not give the money to use the software. Then we have the cybercrime. This is the now next topic after the OSS. Cybercrime is any criminal offense. Cybercrime is an offense definitely the use of electronic communication or information system including any electronic device, computer and internet. Basically in the general term there are a lot of cyber crimes like phishing, credit card fraud, illegal downloading. There are many cyberbullying, cyber stalking. So we are going to discuss one by one all. Number one, we are going to discuss about the hacking. Hacking refer to the gaining unauthorized access to a network or computer or digital file with an intention to steal or manipulate data or information or to install malware. Basically, you can say hacking is a bad hacking having the bad intention of the particular person like stealing stealing your data, like you are doing online transaction and unnecessary they are using their password, they are using password for doing the transaction. So such is the unauthorized access because you are not giving permission but they are using your password for doing the transaction. This comes under the crime that is also hacking. So hacking is a bad intention. So now we have spooling. In case of spooling, what we is the thing is here, it refers to a fraudulent or malicious practice in which communication is sent from an unknown source disguised as a trusted source known as to the receiver. In spoofing attack, a hacker or malicious impersonate another user or device on a network, duping users or system into believing they are legitimate or authenticated. So spoofing basically it's a fraudulent task communication जो कि अननोन सोर्स से भेजा जाता है ट्रस्टेड पर्सन को, रिसीवर इसको रिसीव करेगा तो ये उस पर डिपेंड करेगा इफ़ that person is using, definitely it's also a part of the crime, because it is the malicious task which is sent by the unknown source to you. So it now it's up to you whether you want to use it or not. It may be by another user, it may be by device on a network. So we think about that we are legitimate or authenticated in such a way. Then we have phishing task. Phishing is the practice of attempting to acquire the sensitive information from the individual over the internet by the means of deception. So phishing basically a crime. In this crime, what is happening? Someone is stealing the information. How is it possible? It is possible that so we can see how many things are here. If we will discuss about phishing, it's a basically a crime. What exactly happened that someone secretly listen your talking at phone. This is a part of the phishing. So acquiring the sensitive information over the internet while you are connected with the other one. Next we have social engineering. They pose as legitimate business or government official to obtain your personal information from financial institution, telephone companies and other sources. Someone take your data from these companies. This also come the social engineering. Then we have cyber troll and bullying. Cyber troll refers to a person who's purposely post opposing citing and demanding or insulting comment about something or someone with the aim of targeting a personal online. The provocative messages posted by this way are also called the trolling. Trolling means the messages, the comments which will be passed on the social media that come under the cyber troll. The word troll can refers to a person who is doing it and may be the derogatory comments posted by the troll. It's a cybercrime. It is closely for the cyberbullying. So it forms in the it is also one another form of cyberbullying. So cyberbullying offers when someone uses the internet, a cell phone, email, messages, chat room, or social networking such as Facebook, Twitter to harass, embrace embraces and doing the different other things. So commonly it's a crime for the teen. Then growing access the electronic communication, making it possible to fund. So such kind of cyberbullying, abusing in Facebook, Twitter. So it may be possible giving harsh comments on the cyber things. This is a part of the cyberbullying. Then we have cyber stalking. This is kind of online harassment when the victim is subjected to a barrage of online messages and email. You are sending email and messages to others to harm them. These stalkers knows their victim. Instead of restoring of offline stalking, they use the internet to stalk. A cyber stalker rely upon antonym offered by the internet to allow them stalker their victim without detecting. So this comes under like someone is sending messages, email to other without and the intention is to mentally harm them, and definitely uh, victim will be get afraid what will happen after such kind of things. So now we have scam, any fraudulent business practice that exact money from an unsuspecting or ignorant person is called a scam. These days, the internet become another primary source of scam. Scam committed over the internet is called online scam. Obviously, anyone is withdrawing money from your account. It's a part of the scam. Illegal download refer to obtaining the file from which you don't have the right to use and downloading from the internet. It's a paid digital item without making any payment. Using it, it's a illegal. Obviously there are many software which comes under this child pornography. uh, it is a visual or written representation including image, so it may harm a person's sexual activities. Definitely under the law there is some child nudity, and there are different kind of things which is harm to the child. In such category there is also a act which control the pornography in the year of 1860. Child is a person who is below the age of 18 years. So there is a crime if anyone is doing like this. Cyber law and the IT Act. And then we have e-waste management, benefits of e-waste management. So these four slides I will discuss in the next part of this chapter, societal impact. Hope all of you like the session. So I will just watch the more videos for this chapter, then we have the next part tomorrow. So till then, bye. Hope I will see you soon. I will see you soon. Okay, bye, Peter. Bye, all of you.